One of the things that you guys can be aware of as we evolve as a human race, there is going to be a lot of shifts that happen within the human body itself, each as an individual, and then, there's a lot of things that are happening that are shifting as a collective human race. And also shifts that are happening on the planet. Anyhow, these shifts that are happening can cause all kinds of weird things to happen, like becoming sensitive to frequencies that you normally wouldn't have been able to tune into or even hear, or maybe they wouldn't have bothered you before. Things like foods that you eat could be causing you to feel real out of sorts and not good and things like that. Somebody was getting on my ass for whatever flipping reason. Anyhow, but as we evolve and as we become more consciously aware and expanding our awareness and our consciousness to higher levels of awareness and higher states of consciousness, we also start to see and perceive things completely different than we used to. One of the things that you may be noticing is that maybe things just appear out of nowhere on your counter when you might have been thinking about something, and all of a sudden it just shows up somewhere close to you or on your counter. Maybe you didn't physically see it being put there, but it wasn't there 5 seconds ago when you was looking at that counter, and then all of a sudden it was there. I've had that happen to me multiple times. I don't question things like that anymore because I know it's just part of my reality now. But also things like as you're driving down the street and you look over and you see somebody walking, and you may notice that they're walking a dog, but as you get completely past them, you happen to look in your rear view mirror and there's no dog with the person walking anymore. Or it could just be that you see a couple people walking together, and then you look in your mirror and one of those people don't exist. This has to do with timelines overlapping and you seeing into realities that you couldn't see into before, because you're more sensitive to those frequencies and you're more open and more capable of perceiving those realities because of you being at a higher state of being, at a higher frequency yourself. So there's also another thing that goes along with this. The more density that we lose, and we lose density by healing traumas, by changing the foods that we eat, by meditation, by staying grounded, by just working on our characteristics and changing to be a better person. It helps us to lose density, which helps us to raise into higher frequencies and things of that sort as well. There's multiple things that goes into this. But the reason why I'm saying this is because I know that when I first started going through seeing into other realities, I felt like I was crazy. I felt like I was, and as I'm speaking, there's a falcon. A falcon is a guide for me. So that just tells me that I'm completely spot on with what I'm sharing and that it needs to be shared. And it's also a higher perspective. Seeing through the eyes of a hawk is a higher perspective. So some of you guys might not need to look up falcon or the hawk in general. Anyhow. But I feel like I've really got off of what I was saying, and now I've completely lost my train of thought. But there's definitely some things that are happening that will freak you out, or maybe make you feel like you're going crazy, or it could be multiple things like that. But you're not alone. It's just that you're evolving, you're changing, you're transforming. This is something that you should be happy that you're going through. This is something that is a pretty major deal for all of us, so if you're at that level of existing and you are, becoming more and more sensitive, even more heightened awareness in like your intuition or your inner knowings, all the claircognizance, clairsentience, clairvoyance, telepathy. But there's all kinds of things that are awakening and evolving in you and as a collective, as a human race. So these are things that you should expect if they start to scare you, it's good, because that means that you're getting over the fear tactic. And, you know, there's something about fear being programmed in us and being instilled in us, and it's not something that we're really meant to have. So you're going to realize that the more that you evolve, the more that this fear is going to come out, and you're going to have to face it and tackle it. And the more that you face those fears, that too in itself will also help us to feel less density and be able to open up and perceive even more things that we're sensitive to, that at one time we didn't think that we were. And there was a raven. A raven is another guide for me. That's another thing that happens. The more that you evolve, the more that you connect with your animal spirit guides, with your angels, with your guardian dragons. I mean, there's so much that goes into our existence that we are unaware of until we awaken more and more of our Christ consciousness and more of our awareness. It's a good place to be. Push through the fears that you have when you see these things happen. You're not going crazy. You know, it's not that you're seeing ghosts or spirits, or maybe you are, because, you know, there is that awakening as well. But, you know, seeing into other dimensions, other realities is something that is really flippin' cool. Anyhow, looks like my camera's changed all the way around. I am on the highway now. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. Much love to you. Bye.